All right, we are live.
People my age.
Oh, oh, you're gonna sit at the table.
And we've got space with you.
You can do a,
Count you
you
as
can
a
do a
kid.
project.
I thought maybe Ann Olson might be.
I kind of thought she might be too. Yesterday.
No, but I mean, I thought she might be one of the,
I did too, yeah, I thought maybe that's
One
why
of
she
the
came in,
doers.
yeah, I was a little surprised.
and I haven't seen her in ages.
Those things, those were the most awesome things ever. The, they have older brothers and sisters, but they are interns helping downstairs in the library. So we're planning it. I'm gonna give it just a couple minutes and then.
You can give me a couple minutes left.
They're gonna run out of money by 2032. How can they make us do it all? About the time I get to be an old lady.
Yeah. See? Oh, no, he's out. All right, I'll go ahead, let's go ahead and get started. Yeah.
And Lila, before we begin,
Yeah,
we have till 2:30. It said on the flyer 1 to 2:30.
yes,
Is that what we're?
that's
aiming for?
about, yeah.
I always like to know.
If you,
the
we've
end.
got the room all afternoon, so
Okay.
if we run a little over, so.
Okay, well, I'll try to.
Hello, people. Welcome to our second STEAM session for our summer reading program. Today, I'm Miss Liza, I work here at the library. Today, we have Miss Bethany and the crew from the Master Gardeners who do a great job. Remember, our summer reading program theme is Unearth a Story. And today's activity really fits in well with that. It's Unearth the Secrets of Soil. So we're excited. It's going to be fun. Might be a little messy, which we're down to that. We're good. And so this is Miss Bethany and her crew. Wave to the crew. Hey, crew in the back. Hey.
Hi there. How about
So thank you for coming.
I'll introduce them.
Yeah, do. Bethany wants to introduce the crew.
Okay, I'll introduce you to my friends who are master gardeners, and they came to help out today and have fun in the soil. They've been collecting stuff for us, so we're gonna have some fun together. On that very back, on the very end, waving is Miss Carmela Crawford. Miss Crawford. Next to her is Julie Strock. In the middle, juggling something really exciting right from her yard. She's gonna show you a little later.
Oh,
is
sweet.
Holly Hartung. And then we have Brenda Lassiter. And then we have Linda Carey.
Yay!
We're all excited to be here and spend some time with you because, as you might know by the name Master Gardeners, we love to be in the garden. We love growing things. And we're volunteers. We're a group. Master Gardeners are a group of people who've gotten a lot of training in all kinds of things about plants, animals, and soil, and that kind of thing. And we share what we know with the community. That's why we're here. So we have other different ways we share with the community. We have a help desk if you have trouble with your garden. We sometimes go to the farmers markets and we're there if anybody needs help. So there's a lot of different things that we do. And I have a little brochure if any of the adults are interested. You can pick it up on the way out. These are some of the different activities that we do. But my favorite thing to do is to work with.
This is the most fun, I'm
It's
just telling you,
definitely
this
the
one's
most
the most fun.
I know.
So remember, we have all sorts of cool stuff going on as part of our summer reading program. Tomorrow morning, story time in the park, weather permitting, at 10, am I right? Yes? And then every day, we have stuff every day. There are schedules downstairs or it's on the LCL website. So check stuff out, get it, and let's roll. It's good, have fun.
Let's dig in. Shall we dig in? How's that?
See what she did there?
She was trying to be funny, so I thought.
I know, we're pretty funny.
Very little bit.
Very, a
Okay.
little bit funny.
All right, so when you saw the title, you know that we're gonna be talking about soil, right? You think, ew, that's so boring. Anybody think that? Maybe you won't raise your hand and admit it, but I don't know. I never thought soil was all that exciting, but hopefully we'll make it exciting for you today. All righty, so here's what we're gonna be learning. We're gonna be looking up here for a little while, then we're gonna do some stuff at your table. So if you're in a position that's uncomfortable to see the slides, maybe you wanna just turn your chair around so that you can see what's up here. I have a lot of pictures for you and I want you to be able to see them. Adults too, if you need to adjust, feel free so that you can see the slides as well. Maybe sit on the other side of the table, good idea, Justin. Yeah, just so that you can see what's going on and you're comfortable and you don't have a crooked neck by the time we finish up, okay? So today we're going to talk about number one, why is soil important? Then we're going to talk about what it's made of. We're going to think about how it got there in the first place, how it formed, and then we're going to think about how we can make it better for growing plants. So let's get started with that. Did you ever take a walk and just really think about what's underneath your feet while you're walking along? What do you think's under there? What are some things you know right now? Somebody raise their hand and tell me what's under there. Yes. Grass, good one. Yes. Soil. Good one. She knows what we're going to talk about. Yes. Worms, yes. Anything else you can think of? Leaves, great. Yeah, all that stuff's down and under our feet. So we're going to think about all of that. And it's really important. Why do you think we need soil? Yes.
To get food.
Food, that's a biggie. Let's start with food just quick. Do you know that all people and animals eat plants? And then how do plants grow? Plants need the soil. And then many also eat animals that eat plants. So everybody needs something. Hi guys, come on in. We're just getting started. Find a chair so you can look up at the front and see the screen. Take a chair, any chair.
Just take a chair.
I think take a chair. Great. Well, good. Now there's some more people to play in the soil with us. Okay. Yeah, so we're saying it's really important because mainly food. Plants need soil to make food. We need plants to eat. Animals need plants to eat. We need to eat animals sometimes. So it's really, really important. How about clothes? You didn't think of this. Anybody wear jeans? Oh yeah. Anybody wearing a cotton t-shirt? Where do you think that comes from?
Plant.
Yes, absolutely. Look at this picture here. I have a picture of the cotton plant. And the cotton plant is what they take to make clothes. So we really need plants so that we can, and soil so that we can have plants and that we can turn them into clothes. And how about our houses? They're made of wood, yeah. And how does the wood get to the soil? Trees, and the trees need soil, sure. So if we didn't have soil, we'd be no clothes, hungry, and we'd have no place to sleep or live. That would be terrible. So soil is really, really important. My friend Carnell is going to help you with a little demonstration that we have here. And it's going to be with an apple. And we're going to pretend that this apple that she's helping me with is the earth, okay? So this, imagine, a globe with an earth looks like. This is the earth. And she's going to cut it now for us, and we're going to cut it up into parts. And we're going to use these parts as a way to show you how much soil we have that we can grow plants from. So first off, she's chopping it into 4 parts. She's gonna chop it into 4 parts, and she's chopping for me because she's a better cutter than I am. I was afraid I was gonna cut my fingers in front of all of you, and I'd be really embarrassed. Okay, so she's got 4 parts of that apple all cut up. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take away the parts of the apple that represent the water and the earth. So how much of that apple, how many parts of that apple do you think if it was the earth would be water? What do you think?
It would steam from
70, you are very close. Okay, very good. I remember you from last year too, you paid attention. We're gonna take away 3 parts of the apple because all of that's water. And there's no soil that we can use to grow any plants in that part of the apple. Okay, now Ms. Carmel's gonna cut it into another, that part, she's gonna cut it into half. And she's chopping that off, and she's gonna we're gonna get rid of another one of those halves
There's some
because,
sort of HR
oh my
or
gosh,
resources
what's at the
meeting.
very tip
It's
top of the earth and the
downstairs,
very
I guess.
bottom of the earth?
They usually meet up here, I think so.
Cold, Lynn.
No, but
Cold.
that would be fun.
Ice,
told them we
yeah,
would
the top of the
definitely have
earth
more
and the
fun
bottom
up here.
are ice, so there's ice caps, we can't grow anything with that, can we? There's also some high mountains in there too, and high mountains are too rocky, we can't grow any plants on them. So now she's got that little piece left. Now she's gonna cut, she's gonna cut it into 4 parts, and we're gonna take away all but one. Look at that. Okay, you did a great job. Boy, I would've gotten my fingers for sure. All but one. Okay, those all have to go away, because you know what? One of them was places that are too hot, one of them was places that are too dry, one of them was places that are too wet. We can't grow plants there. Now we got that piece left, and she's just gonna show you the skin. We can only use this little tiny bit of skin on the top of this apple to grow plants. And why could we only take the top skin?
Because there's no more land left.
Yeah, and underneath there, it's rock. It's too rocky, so our soil is only at the very, very, very tip of this apple, so we can only use the skin. So out of this whole earth, look how much space we have to grow plants and animals for all the humans that live here. That's not very much, is it? So we have to take good care of our soil. Wow, you are a good cutter.
Well, thank you, Ms. Beth.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Carmela. That way
Anytime.
I didn't chop my fingers off, so that was a good thing. Very good. Yeah, so we don't have too much soil, so we have to treat it well. Okay, so that's why, another reason why it's really important. This is just a little bit technical, but what are we talking about anyway when we say soil? It's right at the spot where the rocks meet the air. And it's always changing, and it's very much alive. Why would soil be alive?
Cause it needs water and it changes.
It does need water, and it does change, but it changes because of living things. We talked about living things like worms, we talked about living things like leaves. They used to be alive, right? Leaves are part of plants, and plants are alive. And that is always changing, and it interacts with the dirt and the rock underneath, and then it stays there for a really long period of time. So when I use the word dirt there. When we talk about dirt, dirt's something you get on your hands and you get messy, or maybe you get your feet wet, or feet dirty when you're outside. But when we talk about soil, soil is when it stays in place, where it's stuck on the earth. So that's what the soil is. And it changes, but it changes very, very slowly. All right. What do you think? Is all soil the same? How many think yes? Raise your hand. How many think no? Raise your hand. You guys are smart. You're all right. Soil is not all the same. No, no. Look at these pictures. They're all pictures of soil, but it's all very different. We've got a desert. We've got soil in the forest. It's a lot different. We have soil in another place that's very dry. We got the beach with sand there. We have a farm field. So very, very different. I want to show you something cool. Oh, first I'll show you this. The things that make up soil, we had some of them before. There's water. There's air in there, down under the soil, even there's air. There's rocks and minerals, and then there's also the living things. And I'm gonna use the word a lot, organic matter, but that means something that's alive or something that used to be alive. Okay, so if we look at all the soil, like we looked at our apple, that big brown spot, that's all the minerals. So there's a lot of minerals and rocks. That's what's most of the soil. But there's a little bit of air, there's a little bit of water, and then there's just a teeny, teeny little bit of the living things or the organic matter. This is the really cool thing I wanted to show you. This is a painting. It was made a while ago, and it was made by artists, and they used something very special to paint with. It was a contest. They were trying to see who could make the best painting. What do you think they made to paint this? Go ahead. You did, it went away? What did you think? Absolutely. This is soil painting. Did you ever hear that? Soil painting is a thing. Every single color in there is made by soil from a different place. They collected it from all over the earth. They even went to France to get some that looked kind of greenish that came from volcanoes. So that's a soil painting. Look at all the different kinds and colors of soil. Here's another soil painting. That's kind of cool too, isn't it? It's called The Three Sisters, and it's all different shades of color that comes from soil. Okay, so when we think about soil, underneath the first few feet, maybe 2 feet or 3 feet, is really a cool area where there's a lot of living things. It's called habitat. Who's learned about habitat in school? Okay, a lot of you, so let me see if you remember some things about habitat. What does a habitat provide for the critters that live there?
Shelter.
Shelter, good one. Anybody else remember another one?
Food.
Food, another one? Ooh, boy, we're getting down to the tough ones. Air, good.
Soil.
Soil, well, yeah, there's soil there. It gives them a good place to live. It gives them a place to be safe and to raise their young. So there's millions of creatures underneath the soil. In fact, can everybody see this okay? You're okay with seeing? We call soil animals nature's cleanup crew because they're the very, very best recycler. What's the picture out there? Anna, that's an ant. What's he doing?
Holding a stick.
Yeah, he's holding a stick. Ants are very amazing critters because they can hold up to 600 tons of what they weigh, of their body weight. They're incredible. But down underneath the soil, there's lots of animals that are working very hard, and they're breaking down all of the dead leaves and the dead animals, because do you know what? If we didn't have soil animals, the world would be covered with dead folks and dead animals, because there'd be nothing to break them down and get rid of them. So we need them. How do they do it? Well, basically, they're eating, and then they're pooping, because that's what happens. So they're eating, and then they're pooping, and that makes the soil rich. And they also are helping to put air into the earth because they're digging and making holes. And then that recycles really important nutrients, and that makes very good soil for us to grow our plants in. So dead animals, really, this is gross, but dead animals really provide food for a lot of other living animals. And that's just how it goes. So they're eating dead animals, and it keeps them alive. Then they're tunneling. What do you think made these tunnels? Yeah, they're that little anteband. Yeah. They make all kinds of chambers and rooms and places to lay their eggs and stuff. And when they make those tunnels, it gives air into the soil and puts water into the soil. And then there's a picture in the background of some of the different kinds of animals that we've been talking about.
Yes. What does the queen ant do?
What does the queen ant do? She mainly is in charge of the eggs. She lays the eggs for all the other ants. And that's a really good question. Ants have a lot of special jobs. They all have their own job, and they work together really well. They're very, very amazing critters. They're also very smart. So when scientists look at all the animals in the soil, they try to group them by size, and they call them fauna. And fauna is just a fancy name for animals.
Yeah. So how do earthworms decompose soil?
Oh, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Can you say that question for a little while? Because we're going to watch it. But the quick answer is they eat it. They eat it up, put it in their stomach, and they poop it out. And that's what they do. So, yes, they do. But we're going to talk about the fauna, and that's the animals in the soil. And you might also hear about flora,
that's the plants. But these are, today we're gonna talk about the animals. And scientists like to group stuff together, so they group them by size. So we're gonna start out with the very tiniest looking one, the tiniest little ones, and they're called microfauna, and they're called mesofauna. And actually, most of the soil animals are these. They're teeny and they're tiny and you can't even see them unless we look at them in a microscope. But I've got some blow-up pictures to show you. These are some of them. There are bacteria, there are fungi, there are algae, there are protozoa. If we took a cup of soil this big, this is 1 cup, we fill this up with soil, this would have more bacteria in it than there are people in the whole world. So all the people in the world, if they were bacteria, they'd be able to fit in just 1 cup of soil. So if we had a lot of soil, we'd have lots and lots of bacteria. Yeah, they're too tiny to see, but they're in there, they're working, they're doing their thing. Here's a couple of cute ones. Don't you think they're adorable?
No.
Yes, they're adorable. Look at that one, that's a nematode. Beautiful. A lot of these little guys are blind. They can't see because where do they live? In the soil. It's dark down there. They don't even need to be able to see. But this guy is my favorite. Who said you? He's cute. This is called a purple springtail. He's blown out. He's really teeny. You couldn't see him. But they have a little tail and they flip it and they hop, and that's how they get around. They're cool. These are all teeny weeny. I did a big picture of a ruler so you could see how tiny they are. This is like between 2 millimeters and 2 centimeters. You can see them, but they're not as little as the bacteria and springtails were. But anybody recognize any of the characters on the screen? Ever see any of them? Roly-polies, aren't they cool? You ever see roly-polies? Hopefully if you didn't, you'll see some today. Centipede, good one. And his relatives, centipede and what's the other one? Millipede. What's that? A beetle, perfect. Beetles are cool. You're gonna say,
Oh, is there a tick on there?
no, he's a beetle.
Oh,
Looks like a tick.
I do not like tick that on.
I think they're probably on a lot of people's least favorite list. I know mine too.
Today I saw a tick on a Jeep.
On a Jeep, what the heck is he doing there? He was lost, I think.
Why do roly-polies have hard shell?
Why do they have a hard shell? Well, that's a really good question. You know, they really aren't insects at all. They're related to shrimp. They're called crustaceans. So they actually have a shell like a shrimp does. Ever seen a shrimp shell? Say that fast. It's hard, and it's on the outside, and the shell protects them. So that was a very, very good question. One of the biggest ones, one of the most prevalent ones that we see the most is the macrofauna is this picture of a earthworm. They really do a lot of soil mixing. They mix up the soil really well because do you know that an earthworm, a night crawler, builds a burrow that can be up to 6.5 feet tall? How tall are you, Tristan? Are you? 5'10". So Tristan, he's almost 6 feet, and the earthworm could build a burrow like this, not much more than Tristan's head. And they're long, skinny burrows. They go down into the soil. And do you know what they do with them? They line them with slime. They make this special slime. They line their little soil burrows with slime. And then they can go up and down in their burrows very fast so that they can get away from predators. They're really cool. So they're called nature's plows. They do a lot to the soil. They dig it up. They move it around. Then there's these buddies. Anybody recognize snails and slugs? They're cousins. And what are we going to tell us about snails?
Snails. SpongeBob has a pet snail.
Say that again.
SpongeBob has a pet snail.
A pet snail. Get over here. Does it have a name?
Yeah, Gary.
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 Gary the snail. Well, which one of these would be Gary the snail? The one on the very left?
I got one of those
The
too.
middle or the one on the right? The second one, we got a run for Gary in the middle. You think that's Gary? Does it look like him?
Gary's blue.
He's blue. Oh, no, it doesn't look like him, but it's his relative anyway. Who has the shells, the slug or the snail?
Snail.
The snail has a shell, and they're cousins, but the slug doesn't have a shell. They're kind of alike, and you know they have those little antennas on top of their heads?
Those are eyes.
You're so smart. Yes, they are. Right at the very tippy top of those antennas are eyeballs. And then they have another set of antennas down underneath, and they use them for feeling and for eating.
Those are teeth.
Yeah. And they don't have any bones. They're mostly water. And what they have along the bottom is just one big muscle, and it's called the foot, and it helps them to move along. So then we have these fellows under the soil, ants and termites. You've probably seen ant hills, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know about them. And we talked about them a little before. Termites are also, they're really cool soil animals. They were around from before the dinosaurs. They're really, really old.
Alligators when you're the dinosaurs.
Yeah, these ones way back, way before the dinosaurs. And they dig up so much soil, look what they make. They make a huge mound. They make a huge mound of all the soil that they dig out. And they eat, what do you think termites eat? Wood. Wood. And you know what? They're the fastest eaters of all animals in the whole world because they have these really cool jaws and they can eat really, really fast.
I think the dinosaurs lose their teeth.
Oh, boy. You stumped me on that one. That's a tough one.
Stay focused.
I'll have to look that one up. I don't know about it. What are these?
Meerkats.
Meerkats. Aren't they so cute? Now we're getting into the bigger animals in the soil, okay? These are called megafauna or fauna. And these are the big guys, and they burrow, and they dig holes. Do you know that meerkats live in dry areas, and they make holes, they make burrows to live in, but they make 12 different doors so that they can get out in a hurry. I just think they're adorable. They don't live around here, but they're so cute, I had to put them in. And so one of the things that they do is that they dig up either a home for themselves, and they make their own home, or they go and they remodel somebody else's house. They find another home that an animal had, and they fix it up and make it the way they like it. Or some just take one as it is and go and live in it. And they just take a burrow that someone left behind and they live there. But they really need the soil, and the soil's good for them because it helps them for protection. They can go in there if it's raining and get out of the bad weather, and they can also get in there if there's predators. Okay, anybody ever seen this guy? There's groundhogs or woodchucks. There's also prairie dogs and gophers. They dig holes. They love digging holes. Do you know that a groundhog can dig out 700 pounds of soil when he digs all of his holes, and he always has exits to get out a back door? How about these? Seen them? I love that picture of the badger. They have a bad reputation. They have a bad reputation, but boy are they good diggers. Look at those claws. They can really, really dig nice holes in the soil, and look at those teeth. But one of the most amazing things about the soil in badgers is they have an eyelid, and it's transparent. It's an extra eyelid, and they can see through it, but it's kind of like glasses, and it keeps the dirt out of their eyes. They're really cool. And the other guy, the little weasel, is the smallest animal in the world that eats only meat. He loves just meat. He's tiny. You know how much he weighs? About the same as a piece of bread. That weasel just weighs as much as a piece of bread in his hand. They're very, very tiny, but they're really quick and good in the soil, and they're skinny. You've probably heard of ground squirrels, mice, rats. They live underground. Anybody ever read the
I
book?
have holes in my backyard.
Do you from them? Yeah, they make big holes, don't they? This guy, not our rabbits, they don't live underground here in the United States, but in Europe they do. They dig warrens, and they have all different holes. And the spaces in their warrens, different places to live, places for the babies to live, places to stash their food, so they're really cool.
Does badgers fight?
Yeah, they have they're pretty nasty. They have a very bad reputation. So yeah, I wouldn't want to get near one. So if you see badger in a burrow, stay clear. Any others? How about polar bears and foxes? Yeah, they dig a den in the soil. Mostly they use it when they're raising their young. Polar bears, especially because they raise their babies come in November, and it's really cold, so they need a nice warm spot for them. There's some birds that burrow in the ground. ground.
Huh?
This is a special kind of a penguin. He comes from South America called the Magellanic penguin.
She's digging dirt.
They dig in the dirt because it's really hot there, and they actually want a cool place for their babies. They lay their eggs in those dirt holes, and then the babies have shelter underneath it. This bird up at the top is a kingfisher. You might see kingfisher around here. They live in North America. Guess what they do with the soil?
Pick it with the nose.
Not their nose, that's a good guess. It's their feet. They hop with their feet, and they dig, the lady kingfishers and the men kingfishers both dig up the soil with their feet, and then they lay their eggs in there instead of a nest. And then last, that cute little owl. He's called a burrowing owl. And they just take somebody else's house, but they go in there and live, and then they find a spot in there where they can stash foods. They found an owl's nest, an owl's burrow, and it had a stash of 100 dead rodents in there that they had collected from their babies. Isn't that cool?
Nice.
That's what they eat.
It's like the ground. Are kingfishers good at fishing?
Yeah, they are.
I know about burrowing owls.
You know about burrowing owls. Do you think they're as cute as I do? You think they're cute? Yeah, they're adorable. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, some more, some reptiles and amphibians like to burrow too. Little snakes, not all snakes, but some snakes.
Snakes.
This frog is a burrowing frog.
We have a frog at our house that always goes on our deck.
Oh, okay, I hope he's not the burrowing kind, or you're in trouble. This little guy on the bottom there with the stripes, I have one of them in the flower planter outside my back door. They're called a five-line skater, and they dig under the ground.
You mean a snake? What kind of rat?
Let's go here first, and then we'll go to you.
I've seen that kind of lizard on my deck.
You have two? Yeah, they're very cool. I love the stripes on them, blue stripes on them. Yeah, well, you don't see that too much. But
One time a black snake was trying to knock on my door.
Really? Did you let him in? I wouldn't either. Okay, two last ones. I had to throw them in because I think they're so unusual and cute. They don't live around here, but anybody know it? Oh, I put their name on, never mind. The one on the left there is covered with armor. That's called an armadillo. Most of them have long pointy snouts so they can dig in the soil, but he's a really cool one. And then the one on the right, that's an aardvark. Ever hear of an aardvark? Aardvark? Ears like a bunny, snout like a pig, but it has a tongue that's as long as a ruler, and it sticks out, and it uses it to collect what it loves to eat in the soil, which might be, what might you guess it would eat?
Ants.
Ants? Any other things? One other one we talked about that builds around.
Termites.
Termites, perfect, yeah. Guess how many a day, a night, they go out at night? 500. Takes 500 termites and ants to make that little aardvark happy at night and full for the day. Okay. Now, we finished talking about what's underneath in the pictures, but now we're going to have some fun with the soil ourselves. So let me tell you what we're going to do next. My friends have helped, and we've collected some critters from some soil in our yard. And so what we're going to do is every table's going to get a little pan, and it's going to have some fun soil in it. And we also have some other critters that we collected that we have in containers, and we're going to pass them around. We're going to take a chance to get in there, look and see how many of the critters that we talked about we can find. Then we have some flashlights for you in case you need to look up close. We have some tools in case you need to dig in the soil. We have some magnifying glasses in case you look up close. Let's just see what we can find for free. So now is the fun time to dig in the soil.
Just like this.
You need some light.
I know, it's kind of
to look close.